Hey guys.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Keegan Clark, and I am the primary mover and shaker when it comes to Plushie Productions. I play main characters such as Stubby Bear, Stubby Bear's brother Bearson, his son Goliath, Grinch, Uglybot, Brontosaurus, Blue Monster. A lot of regulars you've seen. Leggery, Bunny, yeah.
I mainly do the voices of Finch and Sam and Michael. I haven't done Michael in a while. On Plushie Productions, mostly Finch. Pretty much just Finch nowadays.
My name's Crimson. My pronouns are they, them. The role that I currently play in Plushie Productions, I play Chloe, Amber, Misty, Rose, Annie, Pink Puff and Snowy, a whole bunch of others. I could probably go on all day listing them.
Usually, I would be responsible for most of the filler content you see on Plushie Productions. That's usually because of me, because I want to put something out there so you guys can enjoy it. So, like, the day-to-day content that mostly has to do with Stuffy Bear and Brontosaurus and those characters, you can thank me for that.
And as far as the actual, work of Plushie Productions, I do not currently live near where we do our filming for Plushie Productions, so I am mostly just kind of support from another place, remote support. I also help with some of the writing and ideas, like brainstorming type of stuff, so yeah.
Well, you see, my role has kind of always been to work on individual skits, and I also do most of the video editing and just a lot of the behind-the-scenes technical stuff that you don't usually think about from day to day. A lot of the stuff that has to do with the YouTube channel, that's mostly me. That's kind of been my role for all of this, pretty much. I mean, that's mostly been my role throughout this whole thing. And to the extent it's ever flip-flopped, it's mostly from just little things that would just, change, because, back in the day, Crimson was actually the one who did most of the recording when it comes to music videos, but, now that I'm a musician, I kind of took over that department, and, I feel like, for example, all of the Education with Stuffy Bear songs were recorded and produced by me, whereas the old music video Pie Day and My Ugly Bot and all those old music videos and parodies were recorded primarily by Crimson. Crimson was kind of the main one doing that. So it's not to say that I've been doing everything all of the time. It's more accurate to say that for the most part, I'm kind of the tech guy. I'm the person who makes the trains run on time, so to speak. I also manage our Discord server for the most part. There are certain things that I do more than the others to keep the Plushie Productions channel up and running. But that's not to say that they haven't been doing anything at all, because they are certainly doing a lot, and I appreciate them for it.
I haven't been playing an active role as of recently. I used to play a more active role. I used to be one of the I was the sole editor of the Beyond the House movie, if you guys remember that. I was also, I think we were all listed as directors, but I remember I was one of the main people pushing that story that we wanted to tell in that, which, of course, it's funny. There's actually a story there. I thought that Beyond the House, I had a plot in mind for Beyond the House, and the plot was basically leading up to Grinch escaping out of the house. The rest of the movie was just, it's not long enough yet.
Yeah, my role in Plushie Productions has definitely changed a lot over time, since I am, of course, no longer physically near where we do our filming anymore. When I was younger, I used to spend a lot of time Being physically with Keegan and Elliot, filming together, we would spend so much time just like coming up with ideas for videos and kind of working on it like on the fly, like just kind of giving ourselves a general guideline and then just like going from there and improvising as we go and just kind of figuring stuff out as we go. And now, sadly, I moved away. I'm in college. This is my dorm. So it's more like kind of remotely, like over Discord and stuff, we come up with ideas for skits, and I can help like brainstorm with that. But I'm definitely not nearly as involved as I used to be. And any voice work that I do is all remote also, so I just have to say my lines and then send them up and then let Keegan edit them into the video. So it's a little sad, but we're all kind of growing up and figuring out our own lives as we go, so.
It definitely provided a creative outlet for a long time. When I was younger, it was something that we were all working on together. We were very passionate about it. I mean, I can attribute my love of making stuff probably to Plushie Productions. If we hadn't started Plushie Productions and really put our all into it, I don't think I would have the determination to continue through with big projects and collaborate, and wouldn't be as good as collaborating with others, because Keegan and Crimson and I have been collaborating for so long. And we don't work on it as much anymore, but we still work on it. We still have projects related to it that we're working on, and it's cool. It's cool. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we continued with it. I wouldn't take that back. Definitely not.
I would say Plushie Productions has been a very, very informative project for me in my youth, because it kind of shaped who I became in the future. It definitely helped me build and hone my understanding for creating characters and stories. It really, really laid the groundwork for what I like to do now. Because, I've been a storyteller, and I really think it's hard to say if I would have ever decided to pursue, writing fiction as a career. I don't know if I would have thought about, writing a book, or even, let alone 3 books, or anything like that. I really feel like that's kind of it's really stretched that muscle. I've always been predisposed to that kind of thing, you could argue, but I'm definitely more inclined and more skilled because of Plushie Productions. Same goes with music. I first started learning how to produce and work with music because of Plushie Productions, because of all those parodies and original songs we used to make.
Working on Plushie Productions has definitely been a very, very big part of my life. Keegan and Elliot and I have been filming ever since we were super young kids. And we kept filming, obviously, for a very, very long time. So coming up with skits together and filming them has definitely been something that has been a part of my life for a really long time. I think it kind of made me get pretty good at improving things and working out a story. Yeah, it's definitely been a really good way to kind of build my creative muscle, I think, for all of us. I think it's been really cool to kind of be a part of a platform that maybe people look up to, and just kind of have that opportunity to share messages that we want to share in our films. Yeah, I just think that's been really powerful, and just to kind of have have a little fandom. It's just really neat to be a part of that.
What I'm working on outside of Plushie Productions, the one thing I could point to most is my music. That's the one thing that I'm furthest along in, aside from Plushie Productions itself. And I have a community of musicians that I love. It's really this new frontier for me in my career as being a creative. Apart from that, however, I've also been doing a fair amount of writing, which is where a lot of my knowledge and experience with storytelling kind of comes into play. Not that I don't have elements of storytelling in my music as well, I definitely do. I'm definitely a storyteller at heart. And the goals for the future are kind of laid out for me in that respect. I'm mostly planning on releasing my science fiction book trilogy, which I don't really talk about very often because it's not out yet, and it's probably not going to be out for at least another year or so because of just how long it takes to write books. But unlike my books that are not quite public yet, my music is. You can see it on Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much all of the major platforms that you can expect to listen to music on, because that's, I have a distributor and my music is on a lot of stuff, to sum it up, basically. I also release music videos on YouTube and I stream there. I'm a streamer. I mostly do music-related content. I stream on YouTube and Twitch, but I also do gaming and interviews, mostly of musicians, but, just artists in general. And I have topic streams where we'll talk about any particular topic that I find is important. It's, again, usually related to music and art in some way, but yeah, that's kind of where that's headed.
Oh man, I could go back a long time ago if I wanted to. I've had my own YouTube channel for a long time that really lived alongside Plushie Productions for a long time. And around 2016, 2017, it started kind of blowing up. I made marble race videos on there using a program called Algodo, and I continued doing that until like 2020. The views stopped, and partly because I stopped uploading because I was burnt out, honestly. I just didn't really enjoy making anymore, but I also didn't want to pivot. I tried pivoting, and when I saw it wasn't doing as well, it just made me less motivated, which is silly. I look back at that now and I wish that I just continued on. It is what it is. I was demotivated and I stopped. But for a while, I had my own thing going where I was working on that. And part of that was I was also learning how to make games. I made my first game when I was 13. I made a video game called Color Claim, which I announced on my YouTube channel. And then shortly afterwards, a game called Marble Mania, which actually did pretty well. It's a free game. You can still find it. It's on Game Jolt. And I've continued learning to make video games since then. I've made quite a few games on itch.io. That is kind of my path. Like, outside of Plushie Productions, I've developed, my ability to do programming. That is my path for sure.
As I mentioned before, I'm currently in college. I'm a math major, eventually going to be a statistics major, so obviously I've been working on that for a really long time. That's kind of my current goal. I want to work in sociological research, maybe make the world a better place or something. I don't know. Something like that. But I've definitely have had a lot of creative projects outside of Plushie Productions too. I was really into art as a teenager and still am. So I've definitely had like a few art projects that I've worked on, like on and off. I wanted to be an artist for a while and then realized that's not the path for me, and that's okay, but I still do it as a hobby. And I also really like singing. I guess I haven't done a whole lot of projects with singing, but when I was younger I did, like covers and stuff. Would love to get into making video games someday. That's always been a dream of mine, and I think kind of working on Plushie Productions has definitely given me some experience with story writing and like creating characters and stuff, so I think that could be really useful for that kind of thing.
Plushie Productions is really meaningful to me because it's allowed me to continue my creative abilities. And a lot of my projects nowadays, making a video game is definitely creative, but learning to programming is not as creative. I'm now going to college. I am not as able to express myself creatively. And because Plushie Productions has been such a big part of my life, it's made me realize that creative expression is something I want to have. So like I've thought about, do I want to just be a programmer in general for making software or whatever? It's like, no, I really want to make games because I want that creative aspect to it. That's really important to me. And specifically storytelling. I want to make an RPG at some point.
I also work for an LGBT nonprofit community center, which has been a really good way for me to kind of contribute to my community. And it's been a really big part of my life for a long time. I've learned a lot of like leadership skills and stuff, which I feel like is kind of like in a weird, maybe abstract way that's not going to make sense to anybody else, feels connected to like kind of stuff that I have learned by working on Plushie Productions for a long time, I guess like sharing my voice with the youth. Oh, that's dumb. But like, yeah, I don't know. I guess just like being someone that people can look up to, I guess, because I help run the youth support groups. So yeah, that's how that's related.
This is a really good question because it kind of happened organically. As I got older, I realized more and more that if I wanted to keep working on these skits, these projects, I wanted them to be a little bit more relatable and enjoyable for me to create. So I kind of started to work in like more, I guess, adult themes, like mature themes, I should say. Like not only have the life lessons become more complex, but it's just also more emotionally intelligent. Characters learn how to overcome relationship struggles and things like that. And of course, we've also been, since we're older now, we've gotten a little bit, still obviously PG, and at most PG-13, but
There was a certain point where Stuffed Animals started having bleeped out swears and stuff like that, which was about the time when we started swearing. Our stuff has definitely changed for sure over time. At first, it was just us being kids, just doing whatever we thought was funny. A lot of our newer stuff has actual messages in them and like life lessons and not just entertaining, oh, Cyber's dumb, haha, so funny. It's like we're actually evolving our content. It's definitely evolved, definitely gotten better over time, I think.
I think as we got older, we definitely started to become more conscious of like what kind of messages we want to put out. Just as we like learn more about the world. It's definitely like for me, I've learned a lot of life lessons that I'm like, I would really like to share some of these ideas, especially with the younger audience. I think that film or YouTube is a really, it is film. I think that film is a really good outlet for like sharing those kinds of ideas and lessons. And it's been a really cool experience to kind of like learn how to do that, and kind of empowering to be like, yeah, we can do that. Like I have so much that I want to share of things that I have learned, and I hope that other people can learn from them too.
Inherently with Plushie Productions, it's going to, cater to a younger audience, which I'm sure you watching this video probably are on the younger end. I am glad that we're able to, target that demographic, I guess, to talk to those people, to those younger people, because there are a lot of life lessons and things that I think it's important. And I mean, it's funny, I'm talking about it like we're some super popular channel. We're not that popular, but it's cool to be able to express yourself creatively and in a way that could actually impact some people.
Skits that deal a lot with like mental health, PTSD, trauma, that kind of thing. Like I think that's very important to a lot of kids, teenagers, and pretty much anybody like who can retain the message. I think that kind of stuff is what I want children's television to be like. I kind of want that to be a more prominent message. And since I'm older now, I kind of have the capacity to tell it in a way that doesn't just come off as cheesy, right? At least I hope it doesn't come off as cheesy. Well, I mean, it's bittersweet, right? Like, obviously, I'm very happy with the amount of success we've seen with Plushie Productions over the years. We have over 2,000 subscribers, for crying out loud. Like, that's nothing to scoff at. And, I know it's going to be a tearful farewell. I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm not gonna be relieved when it's over. I feel like everybody here has noticed that we've kind of been dragging our feet these last couple years.
Honestly, Plushie Productions has already gone on like way longer than I expected it to. It's really awesome that we've been able to reach so many fans and make an impact on people's lives. But I'm definitely like, for me at least, I'm like, I've pretty much moved on to other things in my life.
As far as Plushie Productions coming to an end, we've honestly been planning it for a while. Honestly, I think we probably first started talking about it before the pandemic. I don't remember when, maybe 2018. We just think, especially now, like all of us are adults now, we all have our very distinct paths we're on, and a lot of us are gonna have a lot less time to work on Plushie Productions. And it's always been kind of just a fun thing for us to do, not, something we take that seriously. I mean, we have taken it seriously for sure, especially when we were younger, we took it very seriously, but now we, you know, have other lives and, you know, other things we're doing. And as much as it means a lot to me, it's also important that it ends when it should, you know?
I definitely recognize that it could be really sad to see a good thing end. And it is a little bit sad to like say goodbye to such a big part of our life, but like, yeah, all three of us definitely have a lot of other projects that are demanding our focus, so it is definitely time to say goodbye and move on and maybe let somebody else take the spotlight.
I think there's been value in continuing it, as I've said, the evolution over time, and now seems about the right time. You know, we're all really starting to divulge on our separate paths, and Plush Productions just feasibly couldn't continue, really.
We're nearing our last hurrah when it comes to Plushie Productions, but you know, that leads us to the next question.
So during Plush Productions' remaining time, I mean, in the short term, I mean, you've noticed it, we've had fewer videos. We're going to have fewer videos, but we are planning some pretty big things. So, you know, Minecraft Plush Adventure Season 2 still has to wrap up. So even though we'll be uploading less frequently, hopefully there will be some pretty big videos that will be worth the wait.
Yeah, kind of like what I was talking about earlier, I definitely have a lot of kind of like life lessons and stuff that I've learned over time that I really want to share. So I definitely have a lot of ideas for some future skits during this last little remaining chunk of time for Plushie Productions. And then obviously we have a very big project that we've been working on for a very long time that hopefully you will get to see soon. Eventually. It's gonna take us a long time to finish it.
The plans that we have for Plushie Productions in its remaining time involve a grand finale. Something that you guys can look forward to. We are still working on one final big bang.
We really wanted to like go out with a bang and not just like fade away as we you know, had other things going on in our lives. So definitely some good things to come.
To the extent I've been contributing to Plush Productions, that's really what I've been working towards. And it really means a lot to me, and I hope that you guys will enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed working on it. Because I really have. That project has been a big, big thing that I've been doing for Plush Productions. I mean, probably I've been spending more time on that than I have voicing the characters, to be honest, in the last probably year.
I'm not going to say too much about this grand finale, but only that it exists and that it's going to be big. It's going to be really, really big. So hopefully that gives you enough motivation to stick around. I'm sure you know a little bit about it since you've seen the teaser.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Plush Productions is coming to an end, and it's 10 years old. We're a decade older now. It's been around that long.
This will probably be the last time you see my face. Heck, maybe it's even been the first time you've seen my face. We don't show our faces very often on this channel. But I just want to thank you, whether you have watched one video or if you've been a fan of us for years and years. It's just really awesome to like have your support and be a part of this community. So I really appreciate all of your support from all of our fans. And thank you so much for being with us on this journey.
That's it. I'll see you guys all later whenever our next video is uploaded.
And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching Plushie Productions for all these years. Bye.